All right, so we're going to hop into a video right now about this general aversion by the populace to pickup artistry and to dating advice and stuff like that. And I just want to address it. And the first thing I think about when I think about all this stuff is like, why do people have this aversion to taking this advice? Because at the end of the day, it's just personal development, you know. And when I think about what personal development is, it's putting yourself under a microscope and examining what your problems are and then taking painful action to fix it. Okay, so people, number one, a lot of people just don't want to go near anything painful. And I get that, right? It hurts to come to grips with maybe deficiencies that we have, because we have our ego built up and we're all just trying to survive in society, right? This is all fucking survival at the end of the day, in my opinion. Okay, so life is hard, and so we have our shells up. We don't want to go beneath that. The other thing is, sometimes you are, facing the pain. Sometimes you're improving your life. You might be working out. You might be meal prepping. You might be doing other shit where you're taking steps to improve your life, and it's like you just don't even have the bandwidth to take on this whole new set of issues, or face your other problems too at the same time. It's like you just don't even want to hear it, So you might be working out, meal prepping, doing whatever, or working hard at your job or whatever, and you just don't have the mental space to be thinking about, okay, how can I get better with women, or how can I increase the quality of my relationship or whatever. And I understand that too. It's perfectly normal and healthy to calibrate our life balance, and it's perfectly normal and healthy to take on one project at a time, etc., right? So I get that part too. But generally speaking, I get a lot of pushback for the type of content I'm putting out, because people want to think about personal development in the area of, dating coaching or relationships coaching or pickup artistry and shit like that. Okay? And people kind of demonize it as this gimmick, really super gimmicky type of thing, like this douchebag kind of thing where you go and you use like a one-liner at a girl at a bar or whatever, and ultimately you fuck her and then ha ha ha, I got what I want, and then you're gone, and then you ghost. Okay, that's not the reality. You can use pickup artistry, which is a small fraction of what I embrace, right? I only embrace it to the point that it socially calibrates you and sort of gives you light skills that you would need on a date anyway. But you can use that as a means of being like a douchebag and going out to the club and getting your end result on the super low-hanging fruit. People with like maybe super low self-esteem, people that really don't care how you treat them or whatever. And yeah, there's guys that act like that. I'm a part of a pickup artist like group for Atlanta, and there's a guy that kind of got shunned from the group that was sort of like that or whatever. And you see these people in reality, like you might even have a friend that sort of acts like this, and maybe he's a dick or whatever, and he just kind of treats women badly, and some of them, because of their low self-esteem, will actually accept that. And that has nothing to do with anything that I talk about. If you listen to what I actually say in my videos, it's like, my thing is like, be present, listen, give that person a good time, add to their day, give them a positive experience, and hopefully for both of your sake, maybe at the end of the night you hook up. Okay, maybe you don't, maybe it takes a few dates or whatever, maybe you have a relationship, maybe you get married. But the point is, you want to have the highest quality partner that you can ever possibly get. Okay, and before that, you need to gain the experience that will set you on that trajectory where you're actually worthy of that high quality partner. Okay, so there's this temptation to sort of demonize this stuff as super gimmicky or like lame or like manipulative. But really, at the end of the day, it's a matter of personal development. Like, we all have this spirit inside. We all have potential inside. And we all have this desire, when we close our eyes, like as kids, we think about, getting with that dream girl or that dream guy. We all have these dreams, but when you're out in reality, what happens? It's like you might have been raised like shit. You might have not had money. Maybe you grew up like in a trailer park. Your whole family is obese or whatever, and you have your whole reality is so apart from that dream person that you think of. And you don't have the skills to maybe get in shape or dress nicely. Well, like, you have to build all this stuff, right? And part of that construction process in reality as an adult in modern society is learning how to get better with the opposite sex. And a lot of that is, you know, learning how to carry conversations, learning body language, learning like when to escalate physically, like learning what's too much, learning this process of like hot and cold, like taking a step forward, taking 2 steps forward, taking a step back, you know, and all this kind of stuff, you know, learning how to have fun, learning how to let go, learning about what topics not to talk about on a date, learning like how much texting is too much, learning all this shit. And what is the purpose? The purpose is ultimately you can connect with somebody amazing and ultimately have a great relationship if that's what you want. Some people, you know, they don't want that. Some people want like polyamory. Some people just want to be single forever. Some people never want to have kids. Some people want to do the whole family. You know what I mean? There's so many things, right? But you should, and this is the way I look at it, right? I think that, you know, I don't know where we go after we die. I don't know what happens. I know that maybe, if we're fucking lucky, maybe we get 90 years on this earth, okay? And then after that, maybe nothing. Maybe nothing. So we got 90 years. You're fucking, by some order of magnitude, by some fucking miracle, you're a human being on planet Earth, okay? And you should have the right, because you're a sentient being and you have free will, you probably live in America, you should have the ability to follow what it is that your spirit wants to do. And I think that as long as it's not hurting other people and impeding on their spirit's desire to go out and do shit in this earth, you know, you should have the ability to live out what your dreams are. And for me, it's always been being with that really high quality partner and like having sort of like this family environment of happiness, okay? And so my own personal experience is like going out on a shit ton of dates, and from that place, from a place of abundance, okay, so doing it to the point, so typically what happens with guys is like you have to sort of drum up the attention. It's usually different than women, like where the attention comes to you. From as a guy, you have to go out, hit it hard, sort of weather yourself to rejection. You go out and you drum up the attention, and so then and from that place, once you've drummed up enough, then you sort of casually choose from there who you think the best person is. That's sort of the way it works for guys, okay? And so, you know, if you lose that discipline a little bit, your results will taper off too. And a lot of guys don't put themselves through that really tough process of, like, you know, it's just like going to the gym. You know, there's a difference between going to the gym once or twice a week, or when you get into those super peak states of discipline where you've been hitting it hard for like at least 3 months, and you're going like every day, eating perfectly. Like, that's the difference, right? So for men, it's like you have to be in that peak state of discipline to get yourself into a state of abundance. And just like some people never get the abs or never get in that state of fitness, a lot of guys don't ever get to that state of abundance. And that's what we want to create for you, you know, in your life, because only from that place typically can you choose the highest quality partner that you could ever possibly get. And so for the very first time in my life, this is happening for me. So I've always casually dated before and picked a partner sort of based on my maybe sense of entitlement, my what I thought I could get, etc., right? And over the last year, I was able to go out a shit ton and hold off on a lot of people that were pretty good that I might have accepted in the past, and choose somebody that's fucking amazing. And now I have this incredible relationship to the degree that I never even thought was possible before. And so when you go through that process and then you get the fruits of that, it's really fucking amazing. And it's just further evidence for me that what I'm putting out is good shit and good for other people. And that's ultimately what this is. So it's like, so it takes the discipline, it takes the practice, it takes the exercise of going out, and it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive. You have to refine yourself a little bit if you want to be able to choose from this huge pool of people that we have on planet Earth. We want to choose the most quality, the most standout, the most caring, loving, attractive, intelligent, you know, physically fit, etc. If you want to pick that, okay, if you want what you want and you want to get it, that's hard. That's fucking hard. It's not intuitive. You have to learn the nuances of what is out here on planet Earth. You have to learn that shit, and then you go put it into practice. And then putting into practice is this reshaping of your concept of what you think is the truth, and then testing that against reality and then getting the results, the feedback, to where you reshape what's in here. And it's like, okay, now you have the experience, now you have the actual knowledge of what it actually takes to go out and get what you want. Okay? And so for somebody that's done that, somebody that's been through this process as a quest, not just by happenstance, okay? As a fucking quest, because I had severe deficiency in my life prior to this. Somebody that's been through this as a fucking quest, absorbed all the info and then went out and put in the work, and then getting the end result. I'm putting this out as like, hey, anybody can do this. And pretty soon I'm going to have a video course on the exact way that I did this. So I'm excited to sort of put that out in the atmosphere. But that's what I have to say today. So if you have an aversion to the dating advice, to the pickup artistry, and to ultimately the personal development aspect of getting to know the opposite sex and getting good in conversation and meeting and etc., even hooking up, I'm going to invite you to re-examine that based on everything I said in this video today. For everybody else that's putting in the work, good job. It's fucking tough, it's painful, but I can say without a doubt that it's honestly, the fruit of it is the best thing in my experience, in my opinion, that you can possibly get on fucking planet Earth, because the opposite sex is fucking incredible. And that's what I have to say today, and we will see you later.